take more than 15 minutes for this, but I will be sharing my own experience. I've been working, well, I started learning data science in 2017. I was the first set of people that did DSN. For those of us that know DSN, Data Science Nigeria, now they are Data Scientists Network, but we started as Data Science Nigeria, and I did DSN. I also organized some coding workshops back in the day. Django Girls, I was working with Ada. Ada is now a big lady now, doing She Code Africa. But, you know, we all started that journey together, working with Ada, before I decided that, you know what, I don't think public life is for me. Let me just go back into my cubicle. But then we did we did many things, just, you know, just being in the tech community and just organizing programs and events that eventually we even had to I got an invitation to Google I/O in San Francisco back in 2018, just because of the work that I had done, right? But that's just to tell you that I have been in the tech field before I went into strategic consulting. I was actually working in the tech field, just doing a lot of things, you know, but I could not handle the pressure of being popular. So I decided to just, you know, mellow a little bit. So in all the experiences that I have had over the years, I want to share my own experience. So it's different. It may be different with you, but this is my own experience, and I hope that you learn it. So 5 things that you need to know if you want to practice in Nigeria. That is, if you want to start your career, because I feel like if you're a beginner, you may not be lucky enough to start your career with a tech company that pays in dollars, like an international tech company. Sometimes you will need to start with a company in Nigeria. So if you want to work in Nigeria, like you've learned all the things that you need to learn, and you maybe get an opportunity to work in Nigeria, what are the things that you need to learn before you then decide that, okay, you know what, let me start earning that dollars and start working in a dollar company. So what do you need to know? What are the things, very practical things that you need to know? So let me go to my next slide. I don't know why my slide is not moving now. Okay, so it's moving now. So a little bit about me. I studied physiology. I think I've said a couple of things about me. I studied physiology in school. So when I was doing physiology and I started Data Science Nigeria, and we did Data Science Nigeria, I decided to go into machine learning research. I think I tried to publish about two or three papers. I did some presentations in South Africa, some ML presentations in South Africa with deep learning in Daba back in the day. So I did a little bit of ML research. Then I moved into software engineering after my NYSC. During my NYSC rather, I interned with Venture Garden Group, and then, you know, I was a software engineer there doing software engineering. But I did not, you know, apart from the fact that I had done tech a little bit, I felt like I was more of the business person. So I dabbled into business while I was doing software engineering. So I dabbled into business analysis and product management before I then went back again. After my NYSC, after my contract ended with VGG, I got a job with PwC Nigeria as a data scientist. So I did that for 2 years, and it is with that experience working in PwC that I want to share what I have to share with you today, hoping that if you have the opportunity to maybe work in a Nigerian related firm, whether in a bank or in consulting, or whether in a startup, what are the things that you need to know? What are the things that will set you apart? What are the things that will help you in your journey? So now I am currently with EY doing strategy and business consulting. Right. So having said that, so what are the things that you need to know? I'll share 5 things, right? The first is that you're better off being everything. I know Tolu said you should find your niche, but this is me coming from experience, coming from working in big fours, like working in the data field with the big fours. If you work in a big four, or maybe if you work in a bank, for example, as a data professional, or in the big four, right? What you will understand, what you need to understand is that you are going to do a little bit of everything from data visualization. So you'll be working with Power BI, to doing SQL data engineering, you will do data engineering. You will do it. And don't see, you will do it. I am telling you, you will really do it. So you will do Power BI data visualization, you will do data engineering with SQL, Azure, AWS. You will do, in fact, you may not even build ML models. My brothers and sisters, you may not build ML models for a long time, but you will do a lot of the data analysis part and the data visualization and the data engineering and just building data warehouse projects. Those are the things that you will do a lot of if you work in corporates, right? So what does that tell you, right? So I feel like if you're learning, I think one good way to start, and I think I'm going to go into it a lot deeper in another point, but let me say it here now. Start with Power BI, Tableau. Start learning those, those are like the low-hanging fruits. Before you start to learn the shiny neural network and all of those things, why not start with the very low-hanging fruit of Power BI and Tableau and do projects and showcase your project and put them on social media that this is the dashboard I built, this is that. You can start with that because that will give you a lot of confidence before you then dabble into the big things like the ML and the others and the other things. So you are better off again being everything, being from do data analysis, do data engineering, because that is what the industry needs. If you want to go into research, ML research, data research, it's a different ballgame. But if you want to work in the industry, especially in Nigeria, you need to know how to use Power BI, Tableau, SQL, and do a lot of data engineering. Maybe a little bit of ML, but you need to know a lot of the data engineering, data analysis bit. Very important. So you're better off being everything. Before you find your niche, if you are going to get a job, you're better off being everything. So that's my number one point. Second thing, and this is where I am going to be going deeper. Forget all these neural networks. I know you want to learn it, you want to get good at it. If you want to, again, this is me saying as a data professional in Nigeria, if you want to work within the Nigerian industry, and within Nigerian industry, there are the corporates and there are startups, right? Even startups in Nigeria would require that you know how to use SQL very well. So after you learn Power BI, if I want to start a curriculum for anybody that is learning, I would say start with Power BI and Power BI and SQL. Learn those very well, statistics, Excel, Power BI, SQL, before you now even start going into Python and all of those things. Very, very important, because there is no way you are a data professional in Nigeria, within the Nigerian industry, and you will not know how to use SQL or the data visualization tools. It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible. I'm talking from my own experience. I may be wrong, but if you want to work in the shiny industry in Nigeria, I think I've said it over and over again, you need to know how to use these tools. So before you learn the shiny ones and all of that, if you want to work in the industry, start learning very practically the things that will set you apart and get you a job, right? So the third thing I want to share is projects are good for startups. Certifications are also good, but certifications are good for corporate. And I'm going to give a context to this. Of course, there's no way you will learn and you will not do projects. It's almost impossible. That's why tech is very amazing. You learn by doing. You don't learn by reading books or watching tutorials. You have to do projects to learn. But at the same time, what sets you apart again in the industry is certifications. So if I ask you how many of us have AWS certification or Azure, Microsoft certification, if you don't have it, I would encourage you to go and start to learn it. So AWS, I know AWS has, there was one I did one time, AWS introduction or something like that. And then there was another one, you know, after that you do solutions architects certification. In addition, if you want to work in a startup, what they need is your projects and all of those things. If you want to work in the industry, they will need your projects plus some certifications that you have gotten. So so tailor your learning to that, right? Because it will help and it will set you apart. Again, I'm saying if you want to work in the Nigerian industry, please don't get me wrong. It's a different ball game if you want to work with a company, say in the US, and you're here and you're earning your dollars. But even those ones, they require a certain level of expertise with your project. And it's also a, you know, I think it's a good one to show that you have a certification as well. So do projects and also add to your project some worthy certifications. Very, very important. The fourth thing is a course a quarter keeps rustiness away. And what do I mean by this? It means have a culture of continuous learning. Continually learn. And what I would advise is have, before you even start to learn anything at all, because there are so many courses online, so many voices all around on Twitter saying so many things to your head and all of that. So block those noises away. Block those many things that people are saying. Block everything away. Sit down with yourself. Think about yourself 6 months from now. What do I want to have known? Or what do I like? What skill do I know that I want to have honed, right? Then draw a curriculum, a plan, right? And begin to take courses, you know, with that curriculum that you have. Then begin to take those courses one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time. When you need to do projects, do the project. When you need to do the course, do the course, just so that you can learn the basics. You know, as a beginner, you can learn the basics and build your foundation very, very well and build confidence on that foundation. Have a structured learning path. Again, if you ask me, if you're a beginner, start with learning statistics, learn descriptive and inferential statistics, and learn a little bit of Excel. Then when you move away from that, go into Power BI. Learn Power BI, and on Power BI, you begin to do projects so that you can showcase what you know. So when you do projects in Power BI and all of that, then you add SQL to it. Learn SQL after that. After you learn SQL and you're doing project, then add Python to it and add all the big neural network and blah, blah, blah. That is how I would advise any beginner to structure their learning if they want to work in the industry in Nigeria. But then again, it is all up to you, right? So, sorry, I already got into. So even after you have learned and you have grown and you're a professional, you would realize that you still need to do courses at least every quarter so that you don't get rusty, and you still need to upskill yourself, because that is the industry you find yourself in. You are not going to be, in this industry, there is no, oh, I've learned everything and I've finished learning. No, it is a continuous learning industry. And if you cannot bear the pressure of continuous learning, I don't think this industry is the good industry for you. I'm being honest with you. That's one of the reasons I left. I couldn't keep up, right? So I said, you know what, let me just leave tech and then go to business, right? I could not keep up. So it's okay. It's okay if you cannot keep up, right? But just know that, think about your future, think about where you want to head, where you're headed, what you want to do, and then build your learning path to suit the future that you see for yourself. Super, super important. Don't let all the noises and different people, oh, this person has done this, and then you put a lot of pressure on yourself. Own your journey and own your learning, and be very, very stepwise, if I would say, in your learning process. All right. So the fifth one is, sorry, I don't know what happened. I think my screen has stopped sharing. I don't know if you can see. Oh, I think the host has disabled screen sharing. I don't know what is going on. But let me just say the fifth one is that, okay, let me get back and share my screen. I think it's back now. Okay. So the fifth one that I'm going to say is you need a community. And I think Tolu did a fantastic, and I think Christiana also did a fantastic job in this. There is this new community, Data First, I think Data First Africa. And one of my managers in PwC is one of the leaders of that community. I think you should join a community. It's not that I think, I know you should join a community. When you start learning and you have gained a good level of knowledge and you join a community and you hear that one of the members of your community is earning $5,000 a month and is working with 2 companies. I'm not saying you should do that too. I'm just citing an example. Working with 2 companies, each is paying $5,000. Your head will spark. My village people must not get me. Let me sit down and learn this thing, you know. So that is the value of a community. Join a community, and the ginger you are getting from, you know, people learning and people sharing their testimony, we also ginger you, you know, to learn and to be committed to your journey. So it's really important. You need a community in the tech space. And that's why tech is such a beautiful thing. It's people helping people, right? So thank you so much. This is all that I have. Thank you very much. I don't have many things. I think all the other speakers have done justice. So I hope you learned a thing or two from some of the things I shared. Thank you very much. And I'm happy to take any questions. Thank you.